That is enlightenment. It is the revelation of something that never dies and is already here. And how do you get enlightened? By stop thinking that you are the body. The supreme goal of yoga is the revelation of the self. Enlightenment is equal to revealing who we are. How do we reveal who we are? By revealing who we are not. You see, in yoga and in many other places, there is the firm belief of reincarnation. The last 50, 60 years, we had a lot of research about incarnation. University of Virginia, Ian Stevenson, 3,000 cases, at least 100 scientifically most probable that there is reincarnation. The stories are so many and the evidence is there. Now, if there is incarnation and reincarnation, then who on earth are we? There's a Zen koan. He says, how did my face look before my parents were born? Who was I before this body was born? You see, every life we get completely identified with a new body, don't we? All we think is that I am this body, and I was born on that day, and I am of that nationality, and I have this mind, thinking these thoughts in this language. And because we identify and we believe we are only this body and only this mind, then we can't see who we are. And who we are is the same in all incarnations. Otherwise, how could there be incarnations? If there is someone that is reincarnating, that someone is not this body, because this body dies and that thing which reincarnates lives on. How many near-death experiences are? Millions. Near-death experiences today when they have this zzz to revive people. Also this, a lot of research, Moody, again, University of Virginia. In Holland, they made a research, Dr. Pim, Professor Pim. He made this research, it's scientifically proven. People that have near-death experience have very profound psychological changes. Never seen anywhere else that such an experience can be so objectively, scientifically impactful. Well, if you continue after the body dies, then who are you? There's the famous case of Pam Reynolds. She had a tumor under her brain, they froze her body, put her deliberately on clinical death, took all the blood out of her, froze her, took a piece of the brain, moved it a bit, took out the tumor, brought it back, brought the blood back, revived her. She survived. They checked that her brain has no brain movement for hours and hours, because if it does have, then they would need to change the course of the operation. So they had some device to check if there's any brain activity. Zero brain activity. But she remembered what happened. She was hovering above, her consciousness was hovering and says, you said, we're losing her, take from the hip. You used that device that looked like a toothbrush, and so forth. Correct, correct, correct. So who are we if we are not this body, nor this mind? And if we are not the body and this mind, should we not live for that which is the same in this incarnation, and the same in the past incarnation, and the same in the future incarnation? And if we live for that which is the same in the past, the same in the future, that is enlightenment. It is the revelation of something that never dies and is already here. And how do you get enlightened? By stop thinking that you are the body or the mind. Having a body does not conceal our enlightened nature, not at all. Having a mind and having thought does not conceal who we are. But the belief, I am this body and this mind, and that's it, that makes the body and mind like a black screen that doesn't allow us to see the spirit that we are. You take away that thought, take away that belief, and you can see. This is the essence of the teaching of Ramana Maharishi, the essence of the teachings of the Upanishads. There is one gesture that separates us from enlightenment. The gesture of disidentification. If we can disidentify for 1 minute, 1 minute is enough. 1 minute to not think at all, I am this body. 1 minute to not think at all, I am this mind. To not believe it even the slightest bit. And the total peace of eternity which you are, the total peace of spirit which we are, reveals itself. I took 24 years of my life studying how to identify and disidentify. I become a fan of a football team. I became a fan in Israel of the green team, somewhere when I was 15. And I'm still happy, now I'm 44, 30 years later, when they win. What is the connection between me and the green team? Haifa. Why? I don't even live in that city. But I identify, and that team receives a meaning for me. And I identify with one political party and it receives a meaning for me. And I train myself and I sat for hours in meditations and years in silence. And I still do every day using this 14-step technique that we will teach in this retreat to see how I identify and disidentify. Because it's a function deep, deep inside of consciousness, a function that is unconscious. But as we were unconscious of our genitals and needed to put on diapers, and we became conscious of our genitals and we used toilets, not diapers, we can become conscious of this action of identification and disidentification. And instead of every life being completely confused and thinking we are only this person, and nothing more, only this mind, I'm only Israeli, I'm only a man, only a woman, only that nationality. Rubbish, you're not. 100%, 1,000,000%, you're not, you're not, you're not. And if you live for that, you live in illusion. And all the suffering and agitation and war and conflict and pain and fear of death, all from that one wrong belief. Not just of the individual, but of the entire humanity. And you cast away that belief, and the silence that appears, there's nothing sweeter, there's nothing more solid, there's nothing more luminous than this eternal silence, and you have no doubt that you are that. No doubt. No doubt. All the pain and burden of life is taken in an instant as identification stops. Because the only reason why we care about this body is because we are this living consciousness. And that living consciousness which makes the body feel like I is not just this body. It is, the body is the vehicle, the avatar. The consciousness enters the body and experiences through the senses of this body. The body is a portal, so consciousness, which is eternal, can enter this world and communicate with this world. And indeed, when the body is gone, the line of communication, like you cut a phone line, is gone. But the spirit that resides does not disappear. That's why all the near-death experience and all the reincarnation. And discovering the spirit is the peace of peace. The Upanishads say this spirit cannot be cut by sword, cannot be burned by fire, the whole universe can explode. And that spirit rests. And you are that. And this is the only thing you really need to know. And from that peace, all the impurities, you dwell 3 minutes in that peace, 10 minutes in that peace. All the impurities and selfishness and desires and past traumas and agitation and strange tendencies of the personalities, they dissolve. And from that peace, a love for everyone, for everything, a compassion, a tremendous intelligence, a joy, a real happiness, very refined, that takes away any need to search. It is just happiness of who we are. That is all. And from there, a natural compassion for all things, a natural care, total dissolving of the fear of death, is simple, is one gesture. And in this retreat we'll give this extraordinary method, very efficient. There are 300 of us that practice it every day together, as much as possible in the same hour. This one method to teach us how to go from identification to non-identification. Very simple. If you like this video and want to learn more about Tantra, about yoga, about psychology, emotional healing, lives of saints, and the scriptures,
then hit the bell, like, subscribe, and you'll never miss an upload. Thank you so much.